Hi everyone, welcome to my video number 21. It's again Monday afternoon here in New Zealand. It's a bit overcast. I've tried to play with the blinds to sort the lighting out, but I guess until I play it back I'm not really sure how it's going to go. I'd like to welcome everybody back who has been here before, and to welcome any new subscribers. I come to you from the South Island of New Zealand, and I am working on a series of projects. I've gone from being one project at a time to 8. So I am showing you weekly progress of how those 8 projects progress. Really only have 3 things to show you this week. I've still not got any haul, but next week hopefully will be different. I've now had 2 shipping notices, and I have paid for block 2 of Farmhouse Christmas and an additional chart, so I'm assuming that has gone on its way as well. I don't seem to get a shipping notice from them, so hopefully by the end of this week I should have all 3 things that are supposed to be winging their way towards me. So next week might be a bit more of an exciting video. Okay, I'll crack on and show you the 3 things that I've worked on in the past week, and there's probably not a lot to talk about plans because I'm in my free slot part of my rotation. Today is day 2 of 4 days of free stitching whatever I want to do. I've only actually got a couple of things on the list that I'd like to do, so I'm thinking I might get the sewing machine out and have a little play with that on 1 or 2 of the free days as well. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, so last week I showed you Lucy Calcutt, not too glary. I'm working in this corner, which is page 1, and when I showed you last week, I've got the border and the name done, and I was starting here. So I managed to get the rest of that motif done. And in fact I slipped into a second page just so I could completely finish that motif and know that it's done. And I've made a start on the second motif, which isn't complete on page 1, but I've got the leaves to fill in. I think that's probably all a couple of flowers to add, and then that page is complete. So we're getting there slowly but surely. I'm sure that once some of the motifs start, things will sort of speed up a little bit more. But yeah, I just think it's lovely. Love the colours. I'm doing this on the called for fabric, which is light exemplar. I was wondering if it was vintage light, but it's light exemplar, and I'm using the called for DMCs. Very pretty. Alright, that's little Lucy. So she's going away now until her time again. File it on the floor. Then I got to my 8th project. So Lucy's my 7th project. My 8th project is Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. Now I've probably only had this chart for about a month, so when it first came up in the rotation project date I didn't have it to do, so I've really only done it on a free slot day until last week. And when I showed you this last, I had got the border done, that tree, the fence and the bird, and the top of the barn done. That was prior to the rotation slot starting last week. I have managed to finish block 1. I haven't made any changes. People make changes. They've done French knots for the sheep or changed the colour of the sheep. I'm not making any of those changes. I'm just following it as charted. So I'm doing this on as a one piece. I'm using the called for fabric, which is the horribly stiff Northern something cross or something like that, I think. It's 30 count as well, I believe, yeah. And I'm using the called for threads. So you've got specialty threads pretty much all of there, other than I think the bird's beak, which you won't even see, is a DMC. So block 1 is done. One of my thoughts for these free slots was actually to get the border for the second block done, which I think I'll do, so that by the time it comes up again in a month's time in the rotation, the chart will be here, the border will be done, and I should get it well and truly done in the 4 days. So I'm really pleased with that. The windows are a bit off centre for my liking, but I decided not to fiddle. I could have done, there was enough squares to make it even. But when you go and look at it again, you don't really notice. It's not the first thing you look at, so I left it as it was. So that's Farmhouse Christmas. So that went up until Saturday. It's Monday today, so yesterday the free slots started, and one of the goals that I had was to finish the first quarter of the Quaker that I'm doing, Quaker in 6 parts. This is a free chart. I don't have a cover picture, I only have the chart. This is the top. I'm trying looking at the camera to figure out what I'm doing. So that's the top part of the thing, and I've been working on this part. I have done all the alphabet and numbers at the top. So when I showed you this last, I had started here, but I hadn't gone up there. So yesterday at my Stitchy group, I managed to get the top of that flower done. So if I fold this a bit like that, that is the quarter done completely. I've finished 1 page, 1 quarter. And I made a start on the next page, but I kind of stopped because there's something like 26 stitches here, and I kept counting and I kept counting, and I was getting different numbers every time, so I've left it till it comes up again, and hopefully I can make a good go on getting. There's basically 1, 2, 3, 4 motifs. If I can do a motif a day in the next rotation, I should have half of this finished then, which would be a really good goal. So that is that. Very quick, because there's nothing else to show. So as I say, I'm on day 2 of my free slots. I'm going to try and do a bit of work, try and get the second block of Santa's Village finished. And I might do the border for Farmhouse Christmas, and that's about all I've got on my list. So today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so Thursday the rotation will start again with Orchard Valley Quilting Bee. So yeah, there's not a lot else to share really. I've just been plodding along. I've been trying to catch up on some of the FlossTube videos that I have been a bit slack on because I've been watching RV videos. I would love to be in an RV driving around America. It's something I've always wanted to drive around America for however long I could do it for, and to all the nooks and crannies. And just, I don't quite know how I came across them, probably because I watch tiny house videos. An RV video came up and this whole world has just opened up, so I've been binge watching RV videos. Oh well, anyway, so that is me done. Hopefully next week, as I say, there'll be some haul to share, which will be really cool. I don't have a lot of stuff from Nashville yet. I'm still, other than the 4 that I brought originally because I wanted the Little House Prairie tribute sampler, I haven't got a lot of the other things. I haven't bought any of the Plum Street or Brenda Gervais ones that I want yet. I think I'm going to just leave it for a little bit and just refine. There's a couple of samplers that I'm quite interested in. So probably next month I will think about ordering those bits and bobs that I'm interested in. So I've got 4 new from Nashville. I've got an order from 123 Stitch, and I've got the Farmhouse Christmas Part 2 and another chart coming. So let's hope by next Monday they're all here. It'd be really cool because I were posted at the middle of last week, so they should be. Anyway, I have waffled along. I feel like I've raced. I apologise if it feels like a race. Get through this video. That's it. It's all done. I hope you all have a good stitchy week. You stitch all the things you want to stitch. and I will catch you next week with some more progress. Maybe something from my table I keep looking at, but I've got to get the sewing machine down from off the top there and check it works, because I don't think it's actually been used since I left England. That'll be a big problem if the sewing machine doesn't work. I'll have fabric, but no way of doing anything, because I certainly can't afford to buy a sewing machine at the moment. Well, I could if I saved up, but anyway, alright, I shall love you and leave you. Have a good week, and I will catch you next week with further progress in my projects. Progress in my projects. We've got to come up with a better phrase. Alright, take care everyone. Bye.